So playing for 10 seconds.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Flon.
Christine Sandy.
Mwanje Steven Kabanana.
Serunya Anes Kaddu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze ennyo.
Ssaawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
Amanya n'eddoboozi.
Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, whoever is watching and connected to our talk show tonight, Film Agenda 256. My name is Godfrey, your host, and today I am blessed to be hosting my good friends in the studio. It is the 19th of Feb, Wednesday, 8 p.m., and it's Film Agenda 256, where we bring you every story about film, discussing business, discussing policy, discussing whatever is happening around the film business in Uganda. And if you're out there, you're interested in be part of us as partners, sponsors, we welcome you. So I want to also welcome you wherever you are today on this live. I already have 4 people connected. Consulate, wherever you are, thank you so much. Thank you for connecting. We celebrate Ugandan film. And today in the studio, I am with the president, Uganda Film Network. That is none other than Ronnie Nkalubo Abraham. Then my friend also, Honorable Rachel Magola. So I will be giving them a moment to introduce themselves and then welcome our viewers. You are most welcome, Honorable and His Excellency. Yes, to begin with, you can introduce yourselves and then we'll welcome our viewers.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Ronnie Nkalubo Abraham. I am the president of Uganda Film Network. And Uganda Film Network started in 2008. And the founders were Mariam Dagire Abe Muchibi and Michael John Wawuyo, basically with an aim of promoting and advocating for filmmakers. So I'm the sitting president, basically team leader, Orusi president, Chikubya. So here I make films. I'm a director, writer, and producer. Currently, one of my shows is running every Monday and Tuesday on Pearl Magic called Nsibambi. So I'm glad to be here.
You're welcome. Yes, and Honorable?
My name is Rachel Magola. Many of you call me Obangaina, the woman member of parliament for Bugweri district, and also the chairperson of the Parliamentary Forum for the Creative Industries.
Nice. You're most welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So abantu benchazo olunaku olwaleero bonna balina akakwate to creative industry or film industry. And I'll pose a very general question at the moment to our guests in the studio and also out there, the people that are listening in. What is your take as far as the film business is concerned in a general perspective?
The film industry is thriving, but restricted.
Wow.
That is how I feel. Because I see productions coming up all the time. I see interesting work on social media. I see short films on TikTok.
Yes.
I see films on DSTV, Ugandan films. And I think that is growth. But when you look closer, I know that film can be a lot bigger than it is right now. If the filmmakers are given the frameworks, legal and regulatory frameworks, which support the growth of that industry. And it's the same problem in the whole creative industry. We are one of the only countries in the world which don't have administrative frameworks for the industry. We do not have Ministry of Culture, where you would find departments, so that each one has got attention, has got plans on development, research and development, on growth, on how best it can be built up. And the fact that on the international scene, you rarely find, for instance, if you're flying on even Uganda Airlines, you rarely find a Ugandan film playing or even among the list. So that says something about how far have we gone from being what we do as Ugandans within our space, what is happening on the international scene, I was excited when I saw things like series like Venerina Dirikumbula, Sanyu. I saw the one for Nathan, My Namesake, Prestige, and real good productions. I need to know how much did our people make in those films? How were they paid? How was the least visible actress or actor remunerated in this? Are their royalties well protected on their work? That, you know, the intellectual property, is it protected? So I would be interested to know how much they got from it. And also, how much are we selling Uganda abroad?
Those stories.
If I'm in Japan somewhere and on TV, suddenly there is a Ugandan film with subtitles, the way other countries have managed to break through. So that shows me that something is not right with our international diplomacy in terms of selling our work beyond our borders. And of course, like I said, remuneration. I see filmmakers, when you compare with Nollywood, when you compare with Hollywood, what you see on the street, I'm not seeing BMWs being driven by the producers. That means that the income, something is not fitting, right?
Not fitting. Okay, thank you so much, Honorable. I'll give the same question to Mr. Ronin Kalubo. Yes.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. I'm very glad to be here. You posed a very critical question when you said our perspective on film business. Because business must be able to remunerate you, the person. And that's very critical, because when someone just comes and poses a question like, you know, how is the film industry? I mean, the film industry looks proper, looks right, because there's content, there's so much. But then on the business side, where people must earn, where people must get money, where people must have food on their table, it's a mess. And the reason is simple, is because one, like the Honorable was saying, we don't really have the structures, because we have struggled to even get people to do co-productions with. For example, if you are working with people who already have structures in their country, when they pose a straight question to you, to a person like me, who has been in the industry for over 15, 17 years, that where do you start? You first begin by explaining the mess. And the mess is we don't really belong. When you are trying to make a film, you are not sure whether UCC is in charge of you, whether Media Council is in charge of you, or whether Ministry of Gender is in charge of you, or whether every other person is in charge of you. Actually, the right question and the response would be, they are all in charge of you. But now, that's where the problem begins. The problem begins with, if everyone is in charge of you, then really no one is actually really caring for you. And as leaders in this industry, for some time, we've tried to advocate for basic things like, why don't you have a film policy? Why don't you have a film law? Maybe if it is so much asking for a ministry, which I believe that when it is put in place, the industry will generate enough revenue to run itself and even more. And even, I mean, you look at the employability. For example, when you are running one show, you talked about Sanyu, you talked about Prestige. When you are running one show, you don't know the number of people you are employing on that very show. So just imagine if it was properly laid out, that every other investor out there can choose film. But the only people who are in film right now are some of us who joined it as a passion, and very many of us, very many of our colleagues have lost so much because the business side of it is a mess. So I believe we need to go back to the drawing board and try to do the proper things, the right things.
Yeah.
We need a film policy, we need a film law, we need, at least if you can't have those things, let's have a one-stop center where one will know how to walk in and then walk out with a film. But it's very unfortunate that the filmmakers out there you see shining on your televisions really in the ditches. You see young filmmakers who have broken through. Kasile John Bosco, I think there's that one who did people have done excellent ads. Recently, there is one of those comedians who has done Osmosis. I mean, why are they still struggling as people? As a people, yet they are so talented, they have delivered, but then the structures are not there. Where is the CMO who is protecting their rights? Who is collecting the royalties on their behalf? Even when on paper they will tell you some of those things are available, but practically, if you are getting it from me, the horse's mouth, it is a mess.
Thank you so much, Ronnie. And Honorable, you mentioned something that the film industry is growing but restricted. That's a very tricky one. That brings me to a lot of illegal content that is being broadcasted on televisions, because that's one of the mediums that someone would get some remunerations. And then also the other is the distance between the parliament and the creative. I am so happy, Honorable, and I must mention this, that we've had artists go in there, but at least you have taken a step to engage the policymakers on the behalf of the creative industry, which is a thumbs up for you. So is there something that is really is failing us to get parliament or the policymakers on board to understand what we do, or something professional is missing in the industry players?
Well, when an industry doesn't have the roads on which to work, then like he said, it's a mess because you don't know who to go to. I spoke to a young animator, I keep forgetting his name, but he did Kalabanda Ate My Homework, something like that. He came to the country after training in Malaysia, all ready to and veered to start and work. And when he got here, he goes to ICT, closed the door. He goes to, they keep telling you, go there for the support you need. And when you get there, there's actually none. Without a ministry or a bona fide department to take care of any one industry, it cannot thrive. I'll give you an example. Compare with the Minister of Agriculture. Agriculture has a minister and a Minister of State. There are about 5 ministers of state, and then there are commissioners for crop, for fish, for every department is taken care of. And from the ministerial level, you go down to the district. You have a district whatever officer. Then you have extension workers. Everything goes up to the village. Where are these people for the film industry? Where are these people for the creative industry? There is no commercial. There is no culture officer at the district. I visited the embassy of India, and I was like, so how do you do it? Because everywhere I go in the world, even if I go to Sydney, even if I go to Iceland, there's food, Indian food. The restaurants are all over the world. It was a deliberate effort in promoting their own culture, promoting their own food. Now we are here, even Kwanjula, we are wearing the sari. How do we get there? We have watched movies from Bollywood, and now we all want to wear the sari. They have conquered us that way. So film is such a powerful media to build a country, to build its identity, to build its uniqueness, and to provide jobs. Film is the only industry, by the way, even if I'm a bit jealous because I'm in music, is the only industry that uses all the arts.
The arts, thank you.
All the arts. They need music, they need fashion, they need makeup, they need stage, what do you call it? They need craft, everything. And Uganda would benefit hugely in our tourism efforts if you are in New York and you're seeing something happening in Uganda, and the beautiful one, not the fights on the streets. Want to see the beautiful lands of. I went to Karamoja with the committee, and I just couldn't stop staring at the beauty of this place. This should be a film destination for everyone. Go to Kisoro, go to Kabale. Oh my goodness. The land, the beauty of Uganda alone would boost this towards 100% if the filmmakers were able to access sites.
Sites, yes.
I hear you can't go to Queen Elizabeth to
National
film.
Parks,
You would have to pay zillions. But then guess what? When you've paid all those costs, the next thing you know, somebody called, is it Media Council? Has to classify you. But they classify you, the Ugandan, for a fee, and yet every day you're seeing unregulated
Content everywhere.
content on TV. Content not suitable for children, content not suitable for our culture, content which doesn't promote anything Ugandan. So something is, and that only happens because there is no one gatekeeping for the creative industry, for the film industry to say no. 70%, I don't think so. I watch TV every day. I don't see 70% of Uganda. That's what I hear. We're supposed to be getting 70% on
70%
TV.
local
Do
content.
we?
No, we don't.
We don't. So something is broken because I think the background, we have to give not credit, you have to look back in the history of where our creative economy has come.
Thank you.
Africans, as in Uganda, we get music. Anytime a drum, tim, 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 everybody starts dancing, it was a free thing. And when it became a commercial good, it still had that lack of, no, you can see them for free. No. So to pay, they pay grudgingly. Even for events, when they invite artists, when they're coming in, they'll give them transport. The moment it's over, you know, there's that lack of
Respect and understanding
understanding
the business.
of the value of the art to the community. And that translated even in the schools. Everybody wants to be a lawyer, wants to be a doctor. No one wants to be a musician. Those who have become musicians have only done so because it's a labor of love. When you're an artist, you just love what you do, and you keep doing it whether you're earning from it or not. So I don't know.
Wow, that's a beautiful one from Honorable Rachel Magola. Same for Ronnie Nkalubo. One of the things that I know, the viewers online, I want to appreciate you. Semialo Ibrahim, thank you so much. And then Irene Namata, who says, thank you very much. I'm happy to see Mama Obangaina. Been missing you. Okay, thank you so much. Ronnie, in whatever is happening in the industry in terms of the legislators and then also the so-called regulators, something is happening. Everyone is trying to meet someone to put up something. And then the last meeting you were in, you kind of sounded double standard at some point, because I listened to your audio and your audio was like, I am so happy we're in this boardroom and I feel you are so much concerned about the boycott UFF. I feel like I want to join the guys that have been pushing it. And then you asked a question. If the boycott pulled you to call us to meet you guys, so it means the UFF pains UCC losing it. What is your take from that meeting for the sector?
I think clearly for the sector, the things surrounding the boycott UFF and the industry, I will give my opinion, but I'll also give a bit of guidance. One, I don't think it is the role of UCC to do a film festival.
Okay.
As per what they are supposed to be doing, because they would be entirely responsible for licensing and regulation. So the broadcasters and the exhibitors, which would be a good thing. But I would like to appreciate them that they are busy filling the gap. I mean, the gap left by policy, like we told you, we don't really know where we belong. So you end up that every other person, even in the government sector, who wants to try out something is trying. So if you asked me that, is it good they are organizing a film festival? Yes, it is right, it is okay. But in that very meeting, I'm the one who outrightly spoke to the executive director, telling them that they should remember that their primary role is the licensing and regulation. Yes, we appreciate the festival. Yes, the festival has improved so much, the filmmakers, especially the quality, the quantity of work, because we really know some filmmakers who just wake up to try and win some money through the Uganda Film Festival.
Yes.
We know very young filmmakers who are benefiting from the Content Support Development Program. But of course, just imagine when your primary role as a mom is to, for example, breastfeed, but every other day you are making a doll for your little child. Fine, the doll is making the little child so happy every other day, and it is putting a smile on their faces. But how about the most important, breastfeeding, which is key? So to Uganda Communications Commission, I still stand here, sit here, and try to tell them that they should focus more on their primary duties. About the meeting and the boycott, today I had a meeting with UFMI, and I was telling them I am one of the kind of filmmakers who is not going to back around, because I really believe you don't get so much result from it other than dialogue. So sitting here and having a discussion, to me, is more important than me going around ranting. I'll give you a few things we have achieved so far from that meeting. One, UCC put out a call, a warning notice. And then yesterday, if you can go and read from Andrew Mwesigwa, the police commander, they said they had a meeting with UCC, the executive director, and that they are going to be implementing things that as regards to content.
To that very notice.
So you would see that in around 15, 16 days, they've taken at least 2 baby steps to what they are supposed to be doing, to what they ought to have done so many years ago. And the problem begins from what the Honorable noted, from the structure. The formation of UCC goes back to how it was initially the Media Arts Council. What was when they are shifting from UBC, they had a representative. They had a representative for the creatives on the original board.
Uganda Broadcasting
Council.
Yes.
So they had the Uganda Broadcasting Council, where they had a representative of creatives on the board. Now, when they metamorphosed to communication, on the UCC board, there is not such a post. So we are not in any department, in any other thing, in that very structure. So we don't have a go-to person, and the closest person who the closest office that runs our affairs is Madame Juliana, who is Content Affairs and Development. So something which is not really creative. So we appreciate the efforts they are taking, but we really demand that they do their primary duties, which would be more important to the sector.
Okay, 8 minutes to the break, but I want to take on this question as I get into the deeper meaning of this show. Do you think at some point, both Honorable and my brother Ronnie, at some point we see film is being taken as just content or communication? Are we fit to sit under the Ministry of ICT as a fully fledged film industry? Because we also have it that UCC at some point, so many years, processed a film commission without the stakeholders knowing. Are we fit to sit under the Uganda Communications Commission as an industry?
First of all, film is an art. It communicates in the same way music does, through the message, through the themes, through it's totally not supposed to be under the Communications Commission. It is an art. It should be under the Ministry of Culture or the Arts Council of Uganda, which can then have the different departments, the Film Council, a Theatre Council, a Performing Art Council, Dance Council, all that, with a board which determines appropriation from central government to the different industries. So film is misplaced. It should not be there. But like my brother said, my son, he was right. When there's a vacuum and somebody fills the vacuum, now it's time for you filmmakers to take your space and take it back. And that's what we're doing with the Parliamentary Forum. We've been reviewing the policy, the culture policy, which 62 years after independence is still in draft. And yet, any country, the identity of that country, the value systems, they are custodians in culture. They are kept in culture. Now, without a culture policy, now that we keep talking, corruption, what? We lost Ensonyi, the value system. The value system of... We lost accountability. Our value systems as a culture would teach us that from childhood. But there's no police or somebody policing the idea that, guys, our value system is important. We need to be confident on who we are. We have to be proud of our languages. We have to be proud on what we look like, you know? So basically being proud of our heritage. And that has affected the creative economy as a whole.
Ronnie, what do you have to say about it?
You asked if I think we
The
are
film
fit to be under.
communications.
It is being myopic, for example, for someone to sit anywhere or stand anywhere in Uganda and say, nti Oluganda tebaluwulira mu Uganda yonna. Because some of us even believe that abaluwulira bangi n'okusinga abawulira Oluzungu. So if someone wakes up and, for example, says, I think we should prioritize this language, abantu balenga baluwogereramu nga bakola ki? Because even the politicians ojja balaba nti abalusobola bwe bagenda okucampaigning ewala, especially on national platforms, they would rather use Luganda than ogezaako kozesa Oluzungu. So that shows you its power. So you trying to get film under the carpet, under the mattress, is just trying to put there a candle which is already lit. So they will either move with the pressure, because they also need to use film, because the only way most of us, people of my generation, really believe that America is strong is through the movies.
So yes.
So the Americans never came down here to tell us how strong they are. So the very tool the politicians will have to use, then they should know that they must control it, and the only way they can control it is when they have it, then have guidelines. But of course, the biggest bit will be, that is why one of my very good friends and mentors, John Segawa, comes in, is if you think you can only give us the ministry at the expense of the creative nous of the artist, then it will not happen. Because yes, we need the space. Yes, we need to have the ministry. But under the circumstances, when we try to see what's really happening, the reviews they are trying to do, the laws they are trying to bring, we see they are trying to kind of say, it is there,
Yes.
but it is going to be full controlled, which will not happen. I mean, they're either going to move with film, or film will move and then they'll try to catch up.
Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in, and whoever is online, thank you so much. Barbara, thank you. Gunfire, thank you. Ntongo, thank you. Victoria, thank you for tuning in. One interesting thing that the Uganda film industry is also facing is the Media Council. At some point, we've seen filmmakers classifying their films. But again, when you look at the Media Council law or whatever gives them power to classify, it's a journalism act. So how is this really working for the filmmaker?
Well, it's like telling a rat to go and do the job of a horse, because the rat doesn't understand the business of a horse. So it means it will come up with regulations which do not support the horse, because he's a rat. So if it's a journalism act, it doesn't work for film. Journalism, film is film. It can only be developed by, first of all, people who understand the art.
Yes.
What is good for the art of film? How do we develop it? How do we use what we have as a community to communicate who we are through film? I'm telling you, if you go to the Media Council, you might find that the people who are there are human resource people or engineers who have no clue. Art is an intrinsic media which you need to understand or have studied. That's why you'll find censorship where it should not be.
It should not be, yes.
And where it should be, there should be censorship, there's none. So we need to educate each other.
Yeah, probably that's why we are seeing some songs being stopped from being broadcasting.
After they had been played the whole
after
country.
they've been played the whole
After
country.
children were
What do you
singing
have,
them.
what's your take on that?
Media Council comes in through their office, which is called the Media Classification Secretariat. And Honorable brings a very critical point where they are using the Press and Journalist Act, Cap 10, which actually gives them to censor and classify DVD, etc., etc., etc. But for the journalists, so not every filmmaker is a journalist. So one, it is the wrong thing being done. But like I said, for UCC, maybe the people who are behind it feel like they are trying to cover some gap. But the more you try to cover such gaps without the actual people, the actual creatives, the actual people who understand the industry, we are not sitting here and saying that it should be filmmakers seated there. We are trying to say that it should be people who understand the industry. We have people who are, for example, copyright lawyers.
Yes.
They are not necessarily creatives, but now they understand the craft. We have people who understand education. I'll give you a critical point. Using the laws they are using, when a school comes here at the Uganda National Cultural Center to do their presentation, they must go and get a classification certificate. What will happen to people's theater from the university? I mean, so will they go and stop? You know, it's public entertainment. Why are people dancing around on a village? I mean, that's trying to deal with something you don't understand. But like I told you, it's a candle lit beneath the mattress, and any other time, the mattress will either burn out or they need to put it out.
Thank you so much. Okay, we are going for the break, but don't miss in our segment. In the next segment, we actually are going to talk about there's something that is happening in Parwood. It's very interesting. And then we also want to ask Honorable if there is a reason why Parliament is quiet on the illegal broadcast of content that is running on our main TV. And then I'll be asking Ronnie, Luachiba filmmaker TV got Thank you so much. It's Film Agenda 256, and it's your host, Godfrey Musenguzi. We'll be back in a few.
Serunya Anes Kadu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze ennyo.
Sawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Front.
Christine Sendi.
Mwanje Steven Kabarana.
Serunya Anes Kadu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze ennyo.
Sawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Front.
Christine Sendi.
Mwanje Steven Kabarana.
Serunya Anes Kadu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze ennyo.
Sawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Front.
Christine Sendi.
Mwanje Steven Kabarana.
Serunya Anes Kadu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze ennyo.
Sawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Front.
Christine Sendi.
Mwanje Steven Kabarana.
Serunya Anes Kadu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze ennyo.
Sawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Front.
Christine Sendi.
Mwanje Steven Kabarana.
Serunya Anes Kadu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze ennyo.
Sawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Front.
Christine Sendi.
Mwanje Steven Kabarana.
Serunya Anes Kadu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze ennyo.
Sawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Front.
Christine Sendi.
Mwanje Steven Kabarana.
Serunya Anes Kadu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze ennyo.
Sawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Front.
Christine Sendi.
Mwanje Steven Kabarana.
Serunya Anes Kadu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
Enganze ennyo.
Sawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Front.
Christine Sendi,
Mwanje Steven Kabarana.
Serunya Anes Kaddu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
eŋŋanze nnyo.
Ssaawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ntongo Front.
Christine Sendi,
Mwanje Steven Kabarana.
Serunya Anes Kaddu.
Eno program bagiyita Film Agenda 256.
eŋŋanze nnyo.
Ssaawa 2 buli Lwakusatu.
Wano teri kuvaawo, beera wano.
Nange kwendi.